Guys, what is going on? My name is Ryan. I play chess, put my videos on YouTube. Today I wanted to look at one of my previous games here. It was a King's Gambit game, so it was very aggressive, especially with the Bishop's Gambit instead of the regular lines. There was a sacrifice involved, which led to a forced checkmate, and it shows some really fast development, and why King's Gambit is one of my favorite lines. So, as you know, it starts with e4, he did e5, and then we do f4. He took, and this is just called the Bishop's Gambit right now. Usually what we like to do is bring our knight out to protect from this check here, but with this we're basically inviting this check, saying that our king is perfectly safe right here as it is, and there's nothing you can really do about it, and we're just going to get a tempo on your queen when we move our knight to f3. Anyways, so the bishop comes out, and he decided to not do it. Instead, this allows me to get a tempo, get another pawn in the center there, and occupy a lot of central squares, and kick your bishop away from any ideas. So he scoots it back. I bring my knight out now. I could have taken that pawn, but I wanted to avoid a check because right now I'm in a pretty good position. So he brings that pawn right there, and I go ahead and take this opportunity to grab that pawn back. I now have 3 pieces developed, 2 pawns in the center to his 1 piece developed, and 1 pawn on the very side. So he brings another pawn out, and I take the time to castle now. He brings a knight out, and I like to move this pawn here. For many reasons. One, it's totally shutting in this bishop for the rest of the game unless he reroutes basically to d8 and then comes back over here. But at this point I'm basically saying that all of the gameplay is going to happen on the king side because my pawns are the most advanced and are pointed towards the king side. It also limits this knight quite a bit. His best move now is probably either to drop back to e7 or to try to chase my bishop away. He goes ahead and pins my knight. I just protect it here with this other knight. I wouldn't take back with this knight, simply because the rook lift in the King's Gambit is so strong. I do want to get my queen out of the way, however, and I make what is perhaps a blunder, but what also makes this knight on this d2 position handy. Remember I said I wasn't going to take with this knight, I would take with the rook, so this knight is looking for one of these squares up here. It's also adding a defender to this e4 pawn. So in this position, he makes a move to start to reroute his bishop, perhaps give it, a safety square in case I wanted to push one of these pawns up and kick it. And I take time to drop back, he develops a piece, and I perhaps make my first inaccuracy of the game, and that is to bring my queen right here. I was so focused that on the fact that I was, so much more developed and that his king is still in the center, that I wanted to attack this f-pawn right away. He probably makes the right move and castles. And at this point I should have moved my queen, probably here to c2 or somewhere else if I wanted to keep this bishop, which I do. It's a very important piece to pin down this pawn, this f7 pawn on the king side. But I didn't. I instead wanted to kick the knight, and he accepts the trade, and then he has this nice knight move here, which wins my bishop, an important player in my offense. So I take it back to its square it probably should have been originally, which is c2, to do 2 things: to protect this pawn here from this knight, and really to get my queen out of the way. So he goes ahead and takes this trade. He adds more pressure to this pawn. I'm fine with that. I get to push this pawn out of the way, which kind of liberates my queen here on this diagonal, which is a pretty strong diagonal in this. And it also, asks him what this pawn is doing here, because he moved that in the center, and it really hasn't served much purpose other than. So I go ahead and take this beautiful square for my knight. This is a very nice square, simply because he can't kick it off right away. It's in the center, and if you looked at my other games, you'll see that the knight has all 8 of its squares available, controlling a lot of space in the center now. Anyways, he moves that pawn right there, probably to reroute the bishop over here. Like I said, it's pretty much useless right now. And I take the time to bring this rook here. Now you can start to see all my pieces are starting to, attack his king side, something I would be very concerned right now if I was black, if I was playing as black. I told you there's a sacrifice. One idea you can think of in your own games is, this knight in this moment is really only protected by this pawn. So if you want to remove the defender, which I've had a beginner to chess master video on, one way to do that is to deflect it off it and take here on h6, and then we would win here. But there's a stronger move that I had in mind, and that's with this queen here. This queen, if I can, get in this little area over here, this queen on this diagonal is going to be very important. So this rook right here is supporting a lot of attacking ideas, especially with a rook lift. It's on the 3rd rank. I can have a nice little check right here. Anyways, so he goes ahead and attacks my knight. I go ahead and take with the bishop. He takes with the pawn, and this allows me a nice little check here. And he's forced to move here on the h-file. You can start to see how dangerous this queen coming in here really is. If the king could move to h7, he would do that, but he can't because I'm on this diagonal. And now I'm going to remove the last thing protecting this diagonal, which is the knight, and now you can see that he really doesn't have any moves that would save him from checkmate. It's a forced mate. It's a forced mate if I'm able to bring my second rook over here, and there's just no way for him to defend that. If he takes with the queen, this checkmate. I guess, yeah, you can't do anything. Anyways, this was my game. I liked it a lot because of the sacrifice, the fast development, and the attacking ideas involved with it. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you learned something, and I wish you the best of luck in your chess games. What's up, guys? Thanks again for watching my video here today. I really appreciate it, and if you have any questions about any specific moves or anything about the game, please leave them below. I'd love to answer those. And last but not least, if you got anything out of this video at all, or you just simply enjoyed it, I would highly encourage you to subscribe. It helps me out a lot, and that way you can, get in touch with any future videos that I put out. Anyways, have a good rest of your day, and good luck in your chess.